Hey, friends. Welcome to the collective, the CUT Collective. This is our podcast, The Rewind. We are here on behalf of Christ Universal Temple to unpack, to share, to grow together. And so the Rewind is all about a rewind on some of the inner workings of Christ Universal Temple. We teach, it's a teaching ministry. And sometimes we just got to unpack the teaching. You can't raise your hand during the sermon, but this is a chance when you can weigh in. You can raise your hand. You can ask questions. And so this episode 7 of our third season, what I'm doing is rewinding on the lesson sermon from March the 8th, 2026. And I invite you to go and check out the full sermon in its entirety. And you can find that on YouTube at CU Temple. And the lesson sermon was given by the Reverend Dr. Derrick B, who's the senior minister of Christ Universal Temple. And I got him in the hot seat today. So I'm excited about what we're going to share. We're in the middle of the Lenten season. And for those of you who don't know what Lent is, let me tell you, this is how we do Lent. Whatever you knew about Lent is what you knew. The way we do Lent is that we use it as a season, a period of soul transformation. And so we have 46 days. It's really 46 days of Lent, not 40, but 46 days where we release negative thinking. Let's eliminate negative thinking is the key idea that we're working with so that we can be available, we can be open to the goodness of God. And so this is a good house cleaning, consciousness cleansing kind of time. And so you're in store for a really powerful lesson. This season was what I say, episode 7. The title of the sermon was The Architecture of Renewal. And so we're going to unpack that with Reverend Wells. And just so that you know, before I bring them in here, that if you're just tapping in, or if you're listening to this and after we have published it, just know that we invite you to share it. It's so much fun when you can talk to people about some good stuff, right? We talk about a lot of garbage. Talk to them about some good stuff. We're going to put something in your ear today that's going to support your health and well-being. We're going to put something in your ear today that's going to help you break through. There's a breakthrough message that you're going to get today. So just tune in, lean in, and get ready for it. All right. So without further ado, let me bring Rev on into the hot seat. What's up, Reverend Wells?
What's going on, my sister? How you doing?
I'm lovely. I am absolutely lovely. How you doing
I'm
today?
glad that I'm doing amazing. I want
Yeah.
to say what's up to Eugene. And the second thing I'd like to say is what's the discrepancy between the 40 days and the 46 days? And it really
So
boils down to this: the Sundays don't count,
the
right? So
Sundays do count.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure who determined that the Sundays don't count. But if you back out the Sundays, you get
You get to 40.
40. If you add the Sundays, you get 46.
You get 46. I count the Sundays because so the way that I teach Lent, I do these 46-day intensives, and the way that I do it is that I ease you into the fast. So if you want to do a 40-day fast, it gives you a chance to kind of get ready. And then I got other countdown days because ultimately, sometimes the reason that we don't start things is because we're afraid to make a commitment. And so, I've heard people like, oh, I was going to do Lent this year, but, for whatever reason, it's like those first few days didn't work out. And so we hit reset every week when I do on my Lenten experience. We hit the reset button every week so that you can start fresh. But yeah, I count all 46 days. I like to go in. You don't take a break. Your fast doesn't end on a Sunday so that you can take a little break. Go all in. Fully consecrate.
Sounds like a plan.
Fully consecrate. It is. It's an emergent experience. All right. So listen, I got some good stuff that I want to share, some questions I want to share, some clips I have pulled. So that's how we do it. I pull in these clips. If you have questions, if you happen to be tapping in with us, and even as the conversation is going, if you didn't see the lesson sermon, know that I'm monitoring the chat. So if questions come up, sometimes you guys just roll with my clips, and I'm good with that. But I would love your questions or insights. We will address them if they're coming in live. So Rev, would you pray us in, and then we can dive into the conversation?
Absolutely. As we just take a moment to center ourselves, we recognize the presence and power of God right now, mighty in our midst. We give thanks for this opportunity to tabernacle one divine expression with the next. We allow ourselves to be open at the top so that we might not only stretch our minds, but stretch our souls and continue to grow into the divine potential that's been placed within each and every one of us. We bless and give thanks as we remember where two or more gathered together, the presence and power of God is right there, mighty in the midst of them. And so we rejoice in this new opportunity to expand, to grow, to increase our awareness of who we are, whose we are, and what we're capable of. Amen and amen.
Amen. Amen. Amen. So here we go. So tell me how your Lent experience has been. Have you been all in? Have you been fully consecrated into Lent? Or are you taking it easy? You having an easy breezy
No,
day?
no. I listen. I started when we kick off, and I just kind of roll with the process. So I'm in, or working it.
That's a
Or
good thing.
let me say it this way: I'm working it. You know what I'm saying?
It
To
works.
whatever degree of success, I'm working it.
So this is going to be a shameless plug. I just want to give you guys a little hint about it. But so in the Lenten experiences I'm doing in the mornings, so that's 2 plugs, right? So I'm doing this in the morning, but I issued a 24-hour no complain challenge, right? 24 hours without complaining. And the practice that I give, here's the plug. The practice I give is that when you find yourself complaining, to speak an affirmation and change a bracelet from wrist to wrist. It's something I do. I use this little practice all the time. The bracelet that I'm using is my CUT I'm built different bracelet. Y'all see that? Y'all come on into the temple. You can get that bracelet at the bookstore. It is, but I remember I'm built different. Like I'm better than this. I'm better than this complaint. I'm bigger than this. God is greater. And I just switch my train of thought, wrist to wrist. So I'll give you guys that. That's a freebie, all right, that you could take and use. But the 24-hour complaint. Listen, let's go ahead and issue one. You want to issue a 24-hour no complaint fast? We'll do that.
Go ahead.
You in for it? Are you in
Sure,
for? Are you up for a 24 hours of no complaining?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I'm checking in with you tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Tomorrow.
All right, let's do it.
24 hours. See how it went.
Let's do it.
See how it went. Take the no complain fast with us. All right. So Lent is about let's eliminate negative thinking. And so these are just some of the tactics, tools that we use in order to tune in to what's going on in our mind so that we can eliminate the stuff that's not working for us. Right.
Yes.
You talked this past week about the regeneration process, right? Not the regeneration process, about our ability to regenerate. And one of the things that we talked about before we went live was about just how I approach things gradually when I like the commitment to Lent is a gradual process. Or do we do that live? We have so many conversations, Rev. I can't.
Yeah,
I can't keep it straight.
It's okay.
It's okay. Okay. All right. So anyway, either way,
if not today, we did at some point.
We did at some point, right? So this idea of a gradual transformation you talk about, I'm going to play this clip because this really helped me release some of that perfectionist tendency that I have and, expect these transformations that I haven't built a discipline for. So I'm going to play this and let's chat.
Okay.
So regeneration refers to the spiritual renewal and transformation of the whole person, mind, body, and life through the activity of the Christ consciousness within. What we're saying is, first, it's important to recognize that regeneration is not a single dramatic event, but rather it's an ongoing spiritual evolution. When I'm talking about the process of re-energizing my mind, my body, my life, I'm not just talking about one quantum leap. I'm talking about a daily practice wherein perhaps I take half steps to move myself from where I am to where it's possible for me to be.
So this quantum leap is, I don't think I'm by myself in saying that I wanted my transformation to be a quantum leap. That I would go from not being able to make my ends meet to private jets, right? That I would go to, to not feeling good in my body, excess weight to, just right there. I want it overnight. And so you gave us this idea of regeneration. Help us. Help us understand. And what does it take to entertain that kind of process?
So much of our conditioning would have us believe that transformation is a 30-minute or 2-hour or 30-day process, right? Many of us are familiar with the television programs where they remodel a home and they remake the whole home in 30 minutes or 60 minutes. So it goes from being in a state of disarray to being one of the most beautiful places on earth just like that.
Yeah.
Or we watch, movie series or actual movies, and in 2 hours, the protagonist goes from being some powerless, potential field, nondescript woman to a shero by the end of the 2 hour period. It's this microwave mentality where we're conditioned to believe that things in our life ought to happen in a snap, and so we want it in a snap because we see people having it in a snap. But we're not privy to all of the production and editing and the labor, the intense labor and the preparation that goes into that. Like we don't see the years of preparation that the rehabbers have to undertake in order to know how to rehab in 60 minutes. We don't see the years of preparation that the editors and the directors and the production crew, we don't see all of that training. We just see the finished product, the digestible content. And so it's easy for us to start to believe that life can happen the way we see it happening on the TV screen. It's easy for us to assume that our lives ought to imitate the art, right?
Yeah.
When perhaps what we don't realize is that we are viewing art, we're viewing entertainment. And so life is rarely like that. You know what I'm saying? Life, it to your point, it's rare that we go from being in poverty to being on private jets in a quantum leap. There is all sorts of learning and remaking and reconditioning and reestablishing and building ourselves up and breaking ourselves down and growing in seasons and being disappointed in other seasons. All of that is a part of the soul experience, the soul growth experience. And, yours might not look like mine, might not look like yours, but all of us have this soul unfolding process that we go through in order to be that which we recognize we have the potential to become. And so when it comes to being able to discipline ourselves, I'd say one of the first places to start is to establish the expectation in reality, right?
Yeah.
So that I'm not using an unrealistic model as my blueprint.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And setting yourself up for disappointment.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And for many of us, we can only take so much of that before we throw in the tile. This stuff you all talk about doesn't work. Well, no. Yeah, it doesn't work if you apply it incorrectly. Right. Like if I apply a principle of mathematics incorrectly, then yes, it can look like it doesn't work. But no, if I follow all of the right principles and all of the right steps, then I can get to the desired outcome. But it may not be in the twinkling of an eye. It may require me to grow, not only in consciousness, but also in competence before I'm able to demonstrate that which I desire to be able to demonstrate.
That growing incompetence. I can't remember who said it, but it was maybe it was Marianne Williamson. I can't remember. But it's this idea that we wake up and then we download all of the pain of the past. Like you wake up and then you remember all the things you've been through, or you remember whatever that challenge is you're facing. Could have felt great waking up, and then you remember, and then so literally every day we're remembering old stuff, and so you begin to replicate the pattern that you downloaded, right? And I'm thinking about that in this as relates to this regeneration, how intentional you have to be in order to open up to a new pattern, right? And to create a new pattern. And that is, I think that's what I'm thinking about, what those 1 degree is. What's that tiny step, is that I'm telling myself a new story. I'm telling myself a new truth, and I got to keep doing it so that I can create
Mm-hmm.
a new pattern. You know,
Yeah.
it's
So
so the
I see.
quantum leap, it looks like a quantum leap, but I've
Right.
been at it, right? When you just couldn't
Right.
see.
Right. Right.
Mhm,
I see the needle point moves compounded on one another that
mhm.
eventually present as a quantum leap. And
Yeah.
those moves can be many, but here are three that, if we are able to embrace them as consistent disciplines, they will pay dividends in our life, right? So the first is um, the choice of focus, right?
Mhm,
Like, where do I expend the greatest amount of mental energy? What exactly am I focused on, right? And honing in my focus will give me, or honing in on what I'm focused on will give me a picture of, or some insight into what it is I will eventually attract or demonstrate, right? And so focus is a moment by moment choice of where I put my attention.
mhm.
And as the saying goes, where attention goes, power flows. So
Yes, yes.
through what I focus on, I am determining where the power of my um, creative facility, the power of my aptitude, the power of my ability to accomplish and do, it's poured into what I focus on. So one of those elements that moved me from needlepoint and compounds in interest and expression is what I focus on. A second element that's equally as important is um, what I make things mean, right? And by that I mean, so let's say, for instance, I did give it a try. I did try a new thing. I did work out for 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. I did adjust my diet, and I saw some progress, but not the amount of progress that I see people on TikTok getting, right? And so um, I decide that my results means that the life change I tried to implement did not work, or wasn't successful,
Mhm,
right? The meaning I apply to it establishes what the thing is for me. So if I make it mean that my results says I'm showing progress, I'm making progress, then that's what it becomes for me. I establish myself in progress. If I make it mean I'm not doing as well as Reverend Reed, then that's what it becomes for me. So to the
yeah.
extent that I apply a meaning, or in the creative process, the Genesis creative process, we see it as being named, right? So the meaning I give something is
Mhm,
the name I give it. It's the nature I give it.
mhm,
The
mhm,
meaning equates to the nature of what the thing is for me. The third piece in the needlepoint moves that compound to become quantum leaps and exponential experiences is, what do I do about what I see and what it means? Like, what action do I take on the other side of what I've been focused on and what I've made it mean in my life? Let's go
mhm,
back to the exercise example. So 30, 60, 90 days in, I didn't get the results that I wanted. Is the action that I take to quit and do something else? Or is my action to recommit and see if I can get better results in the next 30, 60, 90 days? Right? The action that I take will determine the progress that I make out of the experience. So
Yeah.
when it comes to choosing consciously and being active in my regeneration, part of my discipline boils down to, again, moment by moment awareness in my focus, my meaning making, and my action taking, just from a simple place or area wherein I put my focus.
Mm-hmm. And I think I love that those 3 steps, right? To focus, to you're naming it, you're assigning meaning, and then taking action based on what you focused on and what you assign meaning. Typically, if you investigate those 3
Mm-hmm.
areas, you can find why things haven't transformed the way you want them to. You know, have I been focused?
Mm-hmm.
There are things that I have repeatedly
Mm-hmm.
said that I desire, but I have not really focused on. You know, in LENT, I call it discovering the inner
You're
mystery.
not the only
Do you
one.
know the inner mystery of it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what you
I
want?
would
Do
say
you
you're not
really
the only one.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Do you know the inner mystery of your desire? I equate it to, so you're talking about working out, I equate it to food, right? When I go and place an order for a meal, I know how to describe the meal that I want, right? I know when I'm placing that order, I'm specific, I'm clear, and then I wait an expectation that that meal is going to come to me like I said so. If it doesn't, then I'm going to make did I order it correctly? I'm going to start to think it through. But when we don't get what we said we wanted, it's I'm not worthy, or it must not be my time, or it's some excuse we'll put, as opposed to say, wait a minute, was I focused? Was I
The
clear about what
download
it
of the
is?
pattern. The download of
Yeah.
the pattern you were talking about earlier.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's a consciousness of expectation. There's a consciousness where we have clarity, where we are expecting what we desire, where we are one with the desire, right? This Christ consciousness where I recognize myself as being deserving and worthy. And so I'm going to play this clip because you're talking about this consciousness, this way of what you're aware of as being available to you. And then let's talk about this, because this is the aim, right? This Christ consciousness is where all the party is where all the goodies are. And how do I get to that, right? I want to get to where the good stuff is, right? The good part. All right, here we go.
The Christ consciousness refers to the dynamic working of the divine nature of my mind and my heart. It is the indwelling Christ seeking to express through my mind. The Christ mind in me is seeking to express through the consciousness that I have. But, somebody say but, it is possible for me to have something in the way that impedes the flow of the Christ mind. If you've ever had a water hose that had a kink in it, you know that single kink could keep the water from flowing regardless of how great the pressure was.
So I'm sitting up here thinking the kink are my excuses, right? The kink in the flow are my habits, my excuses. Sorry, my own personal revelation. I don't know what y'all here for, but I'm here to get mine. Okay.
Yeah.
So
We can keep going. Right?
Yeah.
We can keep going. Yep. It can absolutely be my excuses. It can be my habits. It can be my conversations. It can be back to my focus and my meaning making. It can be my inability to take action. It can be my procrastination. It can be my negative conversations. It can be spending countless hours doom scrolling my social media of choice, when I have to determine what I'm learning from that. So as I'm scrolling, one of the questions I should ask myself, every 5, 10, 15, 30 minutes is, does this move me closer to what I say I want, or no? If it moves me closer, then I should keep scrolling. If it doesn't, then maybe I should take, a break for an hour or two and come back, 2 or 3 hours later and scroll for 2 or 3 minutes, maybe 5 or 6 minutes. but I should spend some of that time over the course of my day doing those things that move me closer to what it is I say I want. And if I'm not clear about what that is, then there's an opportunity for me to spend some time getting clear about what it is I want, why I want it, and how to connect it with my purpose and mission. Because the more I connect it to things that mean something to me, back to meaning making, the more I connect my desires to things that mean something to me, the greater will be my motivation, the greater will be my why for the what. See, oftentimes the motivation for the what is not enough. I haven't attached enough meaning to the what. It could just be so I can look fly, travel fly, be fly, or whatever. But if I'm able to attach that to something more significant, then oftentimes I tap into something deeper within myself that helps me have the tenacity and the endurance when it doesn't come about as quickly as I'd like for it to. When it doesn't happen within the 30-minute episode, I don't stop and drop out because I've attached it to something with more significance and meaning, something that won't let me quit when something within me wants to quit.
You
For,
made me think
like for
about.
instance, when for working out for me, like it, every now and again, I feel something in the body, and so working out for me is yes, about being healthy, but it's also about not feeling that uncomfortable something in the body. So if I feel something in my back that I don't want to feel, you can rest assured in a day or two, my area of focus during my workout is going to be strengthening this area because we don't want to feel that, right? So
No, listen. The first time I grunted when I got up, I was like, "That's not sexy. That's not sexy." Like, what, what, what must we do, dear Lord? What must we do, dear Lord? Because that get up wasn't sexy, right? That wasn't sexy at all. Yeah, I don't want to be that, right? And so you do something about it. So the why, you're talking about the why, and whys can change. You can talk yourself out of a why, which is why I thought the Christ consciousness and understanding that is so important, because I just didn't think about, like, God wants to do a new thing through me, like that only I can do. Nobody can play health like I could play it. It won't show up. And it's going to not just be for me, but it's going to bless other people watching me do me, like watching me let that Christ consciousness come through me. Like I'm letting it. And so I think that
even not just you watching them. If the higher the vibration you're in, the higher the vibration you share when you enter a space, right? So if I feel good, it's much more likely that I'm going to smile to you, towards you, when I encounter you. If I'm not feeling great, then like when I see you, you might think I have a straight up attitude with you, and it might not be about you at all. It's just that I might not be in my feeling great bag. And if I'm not in my feeling great bag, don't be expecting me to speak to you.
You catching strays. Everybody catching strays.
You know what I'm saying? So if we probably all had the experience where somebody didn't speak to us and it sent our thinking off into a tailspin of, okay, what's that about? Right? Someone not speaking to us had the potential to shift the tone and tenor of our day. Right? And so in a very practical way, a healthy, happy, prosperous, satisfied Reed might show up differently. A healthy, happy, prosperous, satisfied Derrick might show up differently and give out something in the spaces wherein we're called to be, or we decide to be, that's different if we show up in those spaces when, for whatever our thing is. You know what I'm saying? It's got us off a little bit. So it's, there are absolutely benefits that we can get from seeing it modeled in someone. And there are real-time benefits that you get from somebody who enters your space in a higher vibration that seem insignificant, But if it were to go sideways, you would notice the difference.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think that's, there's a, like, you don't recognize your power. I know that I can shift an atmosphere, right? And we all know it. You've walked in. Sometimes you just didn't know you brought the funk. You're the one that brought the what's going on? Why is it funky in here? You brought it, right? Your energy came with it. And so, but you're that powerful. That's, imagine, right? If we were to do what we are pushed to do, right? That desire that wants to come through, that way of being, that is your higher state of being. If you let that come through, how that changes the atmosphere. Don't get me started on this. You said this. This is what you said. I'm just going to quote, right? You said, sometimes when life happens, negative thoughts attach to the experiences of life. Sometimes when life happens, I attach fear and false identity to the things I go through. And the debilitating thing about negative thinking is that it impacts my ability to see clearly, consciously, and creatively. So this meaning attachment, right? That now I can't be creative because of the meaning I've attached to a situation, right? And to something I've gone through, or to something that didn't work out. So that that made me think about when you said that, okay, so something didn't work out. I worked 90 days to release weight. I ate the things they said to eat. I did the dance they said to do, and the weight didn't fly off, right? And so now I'm like, well, that stuff doesn't work. And so I've assigned a meaning of failure to it, as opposed to I got 90 days of information, right? Or what good did
feedback.
Come out of it? You know what I mean? Yeah, I got some feedback. What did work? I did something consistently for 90 days. I proved to myself.
No question.
I kept my word to myself. Like, to me, that's 80% of the battle, right?
90 days.
Yeah.
Right. I didn't get a 15-pound loss, but I got a 4-pound loss, a 5-pound loss. That's not progress. Of course it is. And for many of us, when we attach, the more consistently we attach a meaning to a particular thing, the more it inclines our creative consciousness to stop looking for solutions to the very thing we're trying to solve. Right? So the more I'm in a negative pattern, quite literally, the less creative I become. Not in truth, not really in principle, but in terms of the reconditioning of the creative facility as it's working through my kink in the hose.
Yeah.
So so I will stop looking, or it will stop looking for solutions. So a solution, once I stop looking, it can be in my backyard. It can be right next to me. I could be dating it and not notice that the solution was with me all the time, because I stopped looking. I conditioned myself to stop looking for it.
Yeah. Yes. So that conditioning. Oh, that's a great segue. I'm gonna play this clip. Look, you're gonna think I planned it, Rev. You're gonna think I planned it. Here we go.
After the first couple hours, the researchers took the lid off the jar. After the lid was no longer on the jar, the fleas were free to jump as high as they could and to extricate themselves from the limiting environment. But once the lid was off, every flea, somebody say every flea only jumped as high as the lid was, even though the lid was no longer present. They stopped looking. They stopped searching. They stopped trying to get free, because they had convinced themselves in their flea minds that they could not get out of the very thing that each and every one of them had the divine potential to easily overcome.
We can collect the offering on that one.
Let's just wrap it up. Let's wrap it up right here, guys.
That's it. Sorry, got it.
Listen, I don't want
to be. I said that's it. That was the whole thing. That, oh my gosh, the way that we are conditioned, right? Are the things we have accepted as our capacity, and for whatever system, whatever the outer condition is that put the lid, right? So let's not just say that sometimes it is like there's a lid there, and then the way we think about it is going to continue to keep bumping up against it. And he's like, I'm not bumping up against that anymore. And so I won't jump that. Oh, it was so many things. There were just so many things. First, I don't want to have a flea mind. Okay. I don't want a flea mind. That's number one. I was very much offended.
I'll tell you what. And I didn't realize it until just the playback. Little flea mind that's really shady. Right? That's low key. Like, that's low key. That's shady right there. Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, but to my credit, I only attributed it to the fleas. Right?
To the fleas. You did.
So I do appreciate that.
Listen, I was in that cup. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, only talking about the fleas, not talking about any real live human people. Only talking about the fleas having flea minds.
No, it didn't help that I jumped in the cup. It didn't help that I jumped in the cup with the fleas. I got in the cup and I was like, where am I still acting like there's a limit where there is no limit?
That's real.
Even if there was. If there was.
That's real.
So when my son was young,
I
made
at one time, absolutely.
Yeah. I made a decision that I was going to, create the structure in his life where, he had his after school, homework, our time together, bedtime. I didn't play, right? I didn't play. So if something started at 8:00, that meant that Sheree wasn't going to be there, because 8:00, that dude was in the bed and I needed to make sure it was happening. And so that was a limit, a self-imposed limitation on my social life, right? So once that was no longer a thing, it's like 8:00 is like, it never, I put the limit. I mean, this is something silly, but it's real. When I looked at how I'm navigating my day, and it's like 8:00, I still am working with the limit, right? As opposed to what can I do that I can explore in the evenings now, that lid is no longer there.
That's right.
And to keep it going, where those spaces where conditions have changed. Yes. Conditions have changed, but I'm still operating out of the same limited way of thinking.
Yeah, that's why it's so critical that we reevaluate those habits and those patterns, right? And we're familiar with it's attributed to many different people. Watch your thoughts because they become your words. Watch your words because they become your actions. Watch your actions because they become your habits. Watch your habits because they become your patterns. Watch your patterns because they become your destiny. Right. And for all 5 of those previous things that lead to the destiny, most people are not inclined to reevaluate those from time to time, much less catch them in real time when they are quite literally shaping our life and shaping our destiny. And so again, when I bring myself back to my focus, my meaning making, so I made 8:00 mean that this is when our night is over. But when the season changed, I could remake that whole thing. But because I'm in the pattern, or because we're in the pattern, most of us quite literally just keep rolling with the same pattern because we have all of the habits to support it. We have all of the meaning and the actions to support it. It's just the train rolling on the rails. And once I realize that train is not going to the destination that I want to go to, that's when I know I've got to get off. I've got to change the direction of the train. I've got to do something different.
Yeah, something. I'll tell you that reevaluation part, right? Looking at your pattern. So same story, same time, 8:00, doing that bedtime thing. At the same time, wine became a whole thing, right? Everybody's drinking Moscato, and it was like the drinking wine was a whole thing. So you get gifts of wine. So it's like, oh, you know what to do? Once I get my kid in bed, I'm gonna have a glass of wine. So that'd be my little treat to get through my whole regimen. I have my little glass of wine, and it'd be all lovely and good. And then I remember one day thinking, why are you taking so long in the tub? You know what I mean? Like, I'm ready to have my glass of wine. And I thought about that behavior.
He was taking long. He was taking long.
And I'm like, so I swear to you that I immediately had a flash of drinking gin in the closet. I said, you don't just start drinking gin in the closet. It starts because you let that habit become a pattern, right? Like I'm so serious though that I stopped. I stopped that. I immediately said, no, I can't. If you can catch yourself and reevaluate your like, what is going on in your mind? What are the habits you're picking up? What's shifting and what's it doing for you? It's important to be
That's
able to
right.
check in on
That's
that.
right.
You started off the lesson talking about the practice, right? That when we are when we're talking about the regeneration process, that it's about daily practice where I take these incremental steps in order to shift and change. And so the daily practice,
Yep.
right? That's why I enjoy what we do here. It's why I enjoy going into a spiritual
Absolutely.
community for worship.
Absolutely.
Is that practice helps me
Same.
to remember to investigate my conditions, my patterns, the things that are going on in my mind. And if your ministry is not doing that,
That's right.
then you need to examine, like, what am I coming here for? Because it could be something else. But the opportunity on the table
Yeah,
here
absolutely.
in this teaching is to reevaluate, like, wait a minute, let me up level my how I'm showing up. Let me have a new standard. I'm talking about a Christ consciousness. I'm talking about a spiritual being, a spiritual being. Like, I'm taking the roof off. Talk about the lid. I'm taking the roof off
That's right.
of
That's right.
what I'm capable of. Yeah.
That's right.
I was highly offended and motivated at the same time. Like, is it me that's the flea, or is it me that's the like,
you just willing to Valley Girl. You just went into Valley Girl mode on me. That's funny. I don't think I've ever met Valley Girl Reed.
It's that LA living.
That's my first interaction with Valley Girl Reed.
Oh my goodness. Listen. I have dimensions and levels. I've been in LA for a very, very, very long time.
We all do.
So
we all do.
So there's again, practical Christianity is not just pointing at scripture, not just sharing the good news, but also giving you and inspiring you, inciting you to right action. And so you gave some a key that I thought was important. I think let me see. I got a clip that I'm gonna play next, but I want to give this quote first. You said to choose consciously. To choose consciously, choosing consciously. Don't choose based on the environment, the setting, the seeming limitation, the conditions, what has been said, what I've done, what's been accomplished before I move forward. That I must choose consciously. It's the way that is consistent, which is what for my highest good, right? I want to choose in a way that's best for my highest good, but I'm choosing consciously. And so the word that came to me as after you said that was discipline. Like, choosing consciously is a disciplined effort. I have to remember that I have control over my thinking and not just respond to what's going on. I have to remember
absolutely
and examine, like you said, if I'm hitting up against a ceiling that I put up there. To choose consciously, it's like it's we all want better. You know what I mean? Everybody wants on some level a better life.
Yes. Well, sometimes we do, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes, and I can't say, I'm not gonna say it here either. Jennifer Lewis, I think, is that the actress?
Yeah.
Jennifer Lewis, the mom on, or the stepmom on Blackish.
The mother-in-law.
Yes. So a couple weeks ago, I had to modify the quote, but she was the one who I heard say it. She was being interviewed at some point. And I'm going to say it here the way I said it at church, because I can't say it here the way she said it either. But she said, colorful. if you sit in junk long enough, you stop noticing it. And part of no longer noticing it is to become consciously unconscious, right? And that's generally considered to be a lower or a level of demonstration wherein we just stop paying attention to what's going on around us. For in some settings, that's a target goal for competence, But oftentimes for us, we're just not conscious, or we're unconscious. We're intentionally no longer paying attention to where we are. Meaning, in effect, I've learned to settle for where this is. I'm okay with where this is. You know what I'm saying? And so when we decide that that no longer works for us, then, to the point you were making, that's when we also then have to make some conscious choices, right? When I decide to go from consciously unconscious to choosing consciously, I'm setting myself up now to shift from perhaps what does not work for me to creating what does work for me, what I do desire, what I'd like to experience. I'm ready to go from uh, having what I don't want to having what I do want.
But I think that there's always this onward impulse. Like God is always calling us higher. So we may not be listening, but there's always a call for
Yes,
us
unless
to
I'm
express
putting
at a
it to
higher level.
sleep.
Yeah, right.
Yes, but
I think
I can put that to sleep.
I can think of even in my, like, the most disconnected I felt from my good, and I can remember thinking like it's I don't know, it's not probable, but it's possible somehow out there. Like I don't know how to make it happen, but it's out there. And the more one day I just dwelled on it a little bit, right? One day I noticed somebody that I said, hey, they're kind of doing what I want to do. One day, like, it just started to accumulate into a space where I got more focused on, like, hey, I don't even like what's going on, right? Before I can make a conscious thought, I had to take stock of, like, this is not the way I want to live, you know?
That's right.
And this idea that I give it permission, I give the life I'm living, I give permission. I'm going to play this clip because I think that this is so empowering of what we have to be able to overcome and shift in our lives. And so, like I said, this is a practical Christianity. This is like, you can apply this today to what's going on with you. I'm going to play my last clip.
Okay.
See, the omni-active presence of God is trying to work some new stuff in, through, and as me. But I gotta let it. I've gotta let it. I've gotta realize that I'm good enough for it and God wants me to have it. And so I put myself in the process of regeneration so that I'm remaking my awareness. I'm remaking the way I think. I'm remaking the way I feel. I'm remaking the way I believe. I'm remaking what I say, and I'm remaking what I do.
So you said I gotta let it, and then you said that I have to remake my awareness, that I gotta let it. Wait a minute. God is trying to work some new stuff in and through me. Right? So let's just sit with that for a second. That there is actually an inner urge to do more. There's new stuff to come through you. You're still, I've been affirming I'm alive, right? That I am alive. Like I'm not, this is a whole living entity that's happening. There's growth happening. Because when you're alive, there's growth happening. There's shift and transformation happening. I'm alive, right? So this active presence that's always alive, and I have got to let it. It's me, oh Lord. I gotta let it. And you said, if I put myself in the process of regeneration, I'm remaking my awareness, remaking the way that I think. And I believe that this is where we can be most encouraged, is that you can remake the way that you think.
Yeah. Yes.
You can remake the way you think. I can remake the way I think. The way I think about something right now doesn't have to always be the way that I think. The way that I think about money right now does not always have to be the way that I think about money. The way that I think about relationships right now. Like, I think just entertaining the possibility, right? So my needlepoint move is just to recognize it for right now, that I can do it. I can remake the way that I think. I may not know how yet, but I'm tapped into this community that keeps saying I can be better.
If I'm willing to set on the possibility of it, if I'm willing to just set on the possibility of it, I don't have to know how yet.
Yeah.
Right. There's an awesome title to a book and the title is "The Answer to How is Yes." Right? But if I reject the possibility, then I never get to how. Right? Without a yes to the possibility, the how doesn't need to seek me. The how doesn't need to come to me, because I'm not saying yes to the possibility. But if I say yes to the possibility, that opens me up now to being able to catch the how, being able to learn the how. It's just like, as we said earlier, once I accept the limiting conditioning, I stop looking for the how. But the other end of that spectrum is, once I say yes to the possibility, I start to open myself up to the how, right? I start to attract the who. I start to find that there is this collective that is rooting me on, that's cheering for me, that's holding me up, that's holding the space for me, that's seeing me in the possibility, right? There are these people who want to help me, who want to support me, who have the experience, who have the expertise, and somehow, almost as if it were a miracle, our paths cross. And when our paths cross, I get to plug into another outlet that opens up some more gateways, right? So, if I won't allow myself to get discouraged by the fact that I don't know how, and I stay in the possibility, staying in the possibility keeps me in the race and the flow of the how.
I said this morning something, a metaphor that kind of goes right along with this. And I was talking about GPS because it's one of my favorite metaphors for God. But that you don't know which way to turn until you set the destination. So you don't know how to get there until you decide that you want to go somewhere. And even still, like I mentioned that one of my most frustrating things with the GPS is when I put the destination in and it doesn't know which direction I'm heading. So it's telling me to make a left, but does it think the car's pointing this way or that way? But every time I move forward, I get a redirection, right? It's either you're going in the right direction or it redirects. But I don't know any of that until I move on a decision. So I've been thinking about, like, again, this is a season for people who are ready to really do it. Like this is the time.
Amen.
And we can sit and complain about the atrocities in the world, or we can begin to respond by releasing our inner potential, releasing our divinity, releasing the good. And so for how long are we going to sit and point and complain? Except for you, because you're with me on this 24-hour complain diet. Like we're fasting from that. But how long are we going to complain and not be all that we're created to be? Like, how long are we going to let someone else's misinterpretation of what power looks like be our guiding force, be the ceiling, be the conditioning of our mind? I'm like, nah, I'm good. Like, it's enough. I'm alive.
No flea mind for me.
You ain't gonna call me a flea one more time and I'll be like identifying with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I identify with the flea.
That's right. No, that's right. What? Yep. No little flea mind for me. Yep.
What is happening? I should have been like, yeah, them fleas are sure silly in that cup, right? But I'm thinking about
silly little fleas.
When I saw myself in the cup, I said, sweet Lord, change. It's time for change. Real. It's time for transformation. I am
sweet baby Jesus.
Sweet baby Jesus. I'm in the cup. And I don't want to be there. I don't want to be there. And listen, whatever visual gets you there, whatever you need to do to come to yourself. Amen. Apparently it wasn't the pig pen.
That's right.
It was
That's
the flea in the cup.
That's right.
It was the flea in the cup. I am so grateful for the work that you're doing. I'm so grateful for the community. Likewise. Right? Like it's one of those things that we got to show up. We show up for our community, stand and holding space. I'm a big proponent of when things are amazing in your life and everything is rocking and rolling, don't neglect your spiritual community. They need to see you rocking and rolling. They need to see what it looks like to put those principles in play and to see the fruit of your labor, the fruit of your consciousness change. And so, because listen, you're holding space for somebody who had a fleet observation. Like, it's important. So thank you for holding the space.
That's
and
right.
And definitely thank you, Christ University Temple community. If you are just tapping in for the first time, I don't know how the algorithm wanted you to see this, right? The Spirit of the Lord, aka the algorithm, aka it's your time, it's your right place. You needed to hear something that came out of this, and I want you to take what you got and use it, right? You don't have to take this whole lesson. Rev gave a lot of really good points, but there's something that you heard that was just for you. Write it down.
Amen.
Like, don't collect this and put it into play, because our intention is for you to live a better life. That's why we're doing what we're doing. I enjoy talking, but I don't like talking just for nothing, right? I want to be able to support people in living their best life. Yeah, I used to do that. I was in college, and we were at a reunion event, and some of my college classmates were quoting things that I said when I was in college, and I was like, sweet Lord, like, that was some ignorant stuff I was saying, but I said it with so much conviction that they remember. I got to be mindful of what I'm talking about. People are listening to me, right? Amen. So I want you to know that your words are important. How you're showing up is important, and so let's take this and keep growing together. Let's take what we got here and keep growing together.
Amen. Eugene,
yes.
I don't remember it, but I am going to have my team send it to me so I can know exactly which clip you're talking about. But thank you,
the short that you did regarding how much percent are we using. I feel like I might have seen you say something like that before. It jogged the memory. I thought maybe
well, it sounds like something I would say, but I don't remember the short. So I want to see if I can lay my eyes on it.
I love that. I love it. All right, so we will be back. In the hot seat next week will be Reverend Galen McDowell, who's giving the lesson sermon this coming Sunday at Christ Universal Temple. So if you're in real time with us, that is March the 15th. That Reverend Galen McDowell will be giving the lesson sermon. We're still in the midst of the Lenten season, and so he'll be giving the word there. And where else do I want to point you? I want to point you to the collective website, right? That you can find us on Facebook. Listen, put something in there. Let's get the conversation popping so that we can come together and unite as a community. After you hear the lessons, this is where the best place to put a question in, because I pull my clips, right? The sermon's wrapped. I start pulling clips, but listen, your questions can guide the conversation. It's all up to you. And so you're welcome to put your information there. And then I'll also say that, like I said, you can join me. I'm doing a daily flow every day during Lent, 7 a.m. Pacific, 9 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Eastern. And it's free this year. You can just come in, pop in. It's on Zoom, or you can join the community. And it's really, really been a wonderful experience. I know that it's always like it's my gift. Like I said, this is my gift, but no, I'm getting the gift this time. I'm getting such a treasure out of the work that is happening in these morning calls. And so I want to invite you in to play and have a good time. We're halfway through Lent, so you can spend the next 23 days. You spend the next 23 days and really just watch your mind change, watch your life transform. There's time. There's no time in God. So come on in and get it. Come on and get it. Did I get it all, Rev? Am I forgetting something?
Yeah, that's great. That's great news. All that's good news. That's good stuff right there.
Wonderful. All right. So I will I'll be back next week with Reverend Galen McDowell. Rev is on hiatus this coming week, so he won't be in the hot seat next week, but but you can watch
the week after. The week
after, but we got these all banked at CU Temple. Go watch the podcast there if you want to catch up on it. And thank you so much. God bless you. Let the Holy Spirit move on this information and enliven and enlighten you and give you exactly what you needed in order to break through whatever's been in your way. We bless you. We love you. We honor you. Anything else you want to say, Rev?
Love you. God bless you.
All right. We'll see you next time. God bless.
Peace and blessings.